James Bond. James Bond.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I drink your milkshake.
You can't handle the truth.
You got tearing me apart, Lisa.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Mafia podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Trout, back again. Full group, all here. Me, Gabby, Max, Lauren, everyone's here. Band's all back together. Couldn't be more excited to have everyone here today. Alrighty, let's get right into the episode then. You know what, actually, let me stop myself. Before we get into the episode, I need to, since we're all back here, all four of us are back together, how's everybody doing? How's everybody's week been? What are you guys up to?
Got my cap and gown from the student center, so I guess I'm actually going to graduate.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. How much did it cost you?
It was like $80.
$8.
And it's like ugly. It's not cute. The tassel, at least for the art school, is like a brown color. And I'm like, it's the art school. Like, that's the best you could do. Like, it's not going to be rainbow or anything. Like,
I'm lazy, so I didn't go to the student center. I just ordered it online, and it costed me like $100. So
yeah.
I'm getting screwed out of $20 there. You freshmen don't have to worry about this. This is senior problems here. $100 cap and gown, guys. Come on. How am I supposed to buy groceries?
And it's like not like you can rent it. Like, you have to buy it, and it
Honestly.
just is not flattering in the slightest.
Not at all. Do you know what day your graduation ceremony is?
Mine's May 6th.
Oh yeah,
like
me too.
9:30.
Yeah, I think I'm the exact, or I'm like May 6th, but at some time I forget.
Yeah, mine's 9:30 a.m. I don't know like if there's like different ceremonies the same day or they're different locations, because someone was saying some were at like different fields.
Ooh, yeah, you're probably right. Such a scuffed graduation ceremony. You guys are lucky you're not graduating yet. No friends or family allowed. Nobody can be there except for students who are graduating. So not even my girlfriend can come with me. So
You can sneak her in your gown. She'll probably fit.
You're right. You know what? That's a good idea. We'll have to do that. I'll sneak her inside of my gown with me. I'll just look like I gained a little bit extra weight, and I'll just kind of hobble around with two people.
And you have like 4 legs.
True. Oh my gosh. Well, with that being said, we do actually have some movie news to get into for this episode. So let's jump right into, most importantly, the biggest news of the week. Since we're no longer the WandaVision podcast, we are the Falcon and the Winter Soldier podcast, at least for a few more episodes here. So, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4. Max, what did you think of this episode?
I'm been actually on the controversial side of this episode. This is my least favorite episode of the entire series so far. I know a lot of people say this is the best, but now I'll say this: the opening scene in Wakanda is one of my favorite MCU scenes ever. It's really well acted by Sebastian Stan with Ayo, and the fact of him crying and the pain, and then the relief of him not being in the control of basically Hydra. That was a really great scene. I was like, this will be great. For me, it just felt too predictable, the episode. It kind of just felt very formulaic. Like, of course, John Walker is going to interrupt Sam's talk with Carly. Of course, Zemo escapes during the Wakandan fight in the house. And of course, Hoskins gets killed so John Walker can go off. It just, for me, felt too predictable. Maybe because I'm watching Invincible. I watched them at the same night because Invincible and that comes out at the same time. Maybe because Invincible is so unpredictable that this seemed too predictable, but I still enjoy it. Like, it's a really fun show. I also don't think it's great. I think WandaVision's really great, and I don't think this is nearly as good as WandaVision.
Yeah. So once again, we're the WandaVision podcast. we take back our statement about being Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So basically, the new Captain America, John Walker, he's like our bad guy now. Like he killed a man in front of everyone. The world sees it. And I feel like this is like, cause like we all are rooting for like Sam to like get the shield or some shit.
Yes.
Or at least like turn the shield into wings at the very least. So at least now we have like a reason where we could take Captain America to court and be like bad Captain America, and then be like black Captain America, fix problem. Because like Sam's a good guy, and like I don't know, I kind of want him to turn the shield into wings, but that's just me.
I would love to see how that would work because the whole thing, well, why the shield is so, I mean, obviously it's a
Oh my God,
symbol.
wait, he turns into a
but-
turtle and it's like a shell.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. Max does not seem on board with this, but the whole thing with the
Turtle
shield that makes it
America.
so powerful is that it's made of vibranium.
Yes,
So-
like in the wings.
I don't know. I don't know. This sounds like a good idea to me, Max. I don't see the problems with this.
I can't get on the bandwagon with that. I cannot.
But you know, while we're at it, let's also give Falcon like an Infinity Stone. Let's just like deck him out, full drip. You know, what else can we give him? Like the fisting thing from the Avengers movie. Like, let's just give him all the props, and then he can just do whatever he wants.
You know what? That sounds like a really good idea. I think you need to be a writer for these shows, okay?
That's what I've been saying like since week 1. I don't know why I'm not a writer for Marvel because my vast knowledge of this series, I just know everything.
Lord,
I
I love it. I love it.
I'm just waiting for like the big fight. Like there's going to be one, and I'm just like it's building up anticipation. So I'm just waiting. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
have to vote out Captain America like out of office?
You know, I think the government just kind of can do whatever they
like-
want with him. And
He was also, by the way, really obvious this entire episode. Like he just kept walking around with the outfit. It felt like he should have been more. The
Covert.
disguises of this shows are terrible. Like Captain America just walks around the public all the time. Carly, her disguise is wearing a hoodie half up, and I guess no one knows that it's her. I mean, it gets ridiculous. These
He's like
disguises.
Robin Hood.
But I feel like maybe with Carly wearing the hoodie like that, maybe that's a little bit ridiculous. But like I
It
kind
is.
of buy Captain America wearing the whole logo and like
Sure.
wearing his whole outfit because I think he's so addicted to the fame
Yes.
of himself. You know, I think
Sure.
I think he's wearing that outfit, you know, kind of feeling
Yeah.
himself, just like, oh, I'm Captain America, stick my chest
Yeah.
out, everybody. I want to write autographs, sign autographs for everybody. You know, like we saw a scene of him signing the autograph and like, and
Yeah.
then jawing with Battlestar about it. You know,
Yeah.
like I just think that all just speaks to his lack of character.
Yeah.
Which
And
I think was
also-
kind of obvious.
Narcissist?
I don't
What
know.
Do we
He's
think
saying-
he's a narcissist? Oh, I keep thinking. Never mind.
You know,
I was also gonna
as
say,
a narcissist, I think he definitely is.
Yeah, I was also gonna say that I think Carly was my favorite part of this episode by far. I thought she had the most to do, like talking, like she had some pretty important scenes in this episode, with talking with Sam to threatening Sam's sister in a really pretty cool. I really like that threat, really really cool. And then the fact that she just wants to kill Captain America as well. So she's gonna get involved. I don't think she's gonna make it though. This show, I think she's gonna get killed. So I think that's what they're totally setting up the Flag Smashers. Is that it's all about the overall, what do you call it, like motive, not about their lives. So I do feel like somehow she's gonna not make it this season.
Yeah,
I
that
see
seems
that.
likely.
Or like she sacrifices herself for some
Yeah.
reason. She seems like the type who would do that.
Yeah, I
It was so
totally.
ironic
see
that it was so ironic that the guy died because he was like the biggest Captain American fan growing up because his dad was in World War, and he gets killed by the Shield. I thought it was very well done, that through line with that character.
It's an
For sure.
interesting. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Yeah.
Gabby, I know you saw the episode too. Did you have any thoughts about this episode?
So like I'm following, but it's also like a little bit like confusing to me. But I'm also not like the biggest like Marvel fan. Like WandaVision was kind of like the first thing I fully like immersed myself into, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So like I'm a little like so there's some points I'm like a little lost, but like for the most part I'm following, and that's really good. But compared to WandaVision, like this is like I don't know. I loved WandaVision so much. Everybody knows that. So like this is just I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really good. Like I'm still watching every week and I'm still like waiting each week for a new episode, but it's not as appealing to me as WandaVision was. So that's kind of just like my overall thoughts of it. But no, each episode is really good. Like I think they're really well done. There's a lot happening in each of the episodes, and I think like I'm excited to just see where it goes.
How do you think this episode, like in your opinion, stacks up to the other ones? You know, we heard Max say that this was his least favorite of the bunch. You know, I personally liked the episode. I'm just curious what you thought about it, as compared to like the other previous three.
Um, I still really liked the first episode. I still think the first episode to me is like the best. It's still my favorite, but that's because they set up like each of the characters. They gave them like like a little bit of a backstory. Like I got some information, and as we just like continue into the series, it's like I just want like I don't know. I'm more into some of like like the subplot lines besides like the big one, and I don't know, that's what I like. I like that in like a lot of different shows too. So I don't know, I still think the first episode is my favorite, but it's not bad like at all.
Totally.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
No,
I
I get that
I didn't
completely.
hate the episode. I just felt like, for me, which is very formulaic, that's all. Compared to the rest of the stuff, I'm getting very tired of them forgetting about Zemo. If this happens in like every Civil War, they forgot about him a lot. And this movie, the show episode, they literally forget about him twice. It's getting a little
Maybe
bit.
he has
old.
a superpower and he can make people forget about him.
I mean, the fact that the Wakandans came in for him and then started fighting
Yeah.
other people and forgot about him.
It
was
is
kind
a
of ridiculous.
superpower. It's called bad writing.
Well, yeah, he's great. He's great though.
Yeah.
He's great in the episode again. And I love the philosophical talks, like the idea of all the super soldiers turning into crazy people, but and Bucky's like, they didn't really corrupt Steve, and he said like that there's only been one Captain America, there's been one Steve Rogers. That point was really good. And the philosophical stuff about the motives of all these characters is good. I just felt like the story isn't quite there
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it's a 6-episode series, correct?
So, yeah, but 2 more left.
2 more episodes left, and then that's it. And
Crazy.
Then, yeah, then we're really gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do next with this podcast. Only 2 episodes left. I don't know how they're gonna wrap everything up. It seems likely that like we talked about, there's gonna be some sort of showdown, probably Bucky, Sam, and Carly versus Captain America versus John Walker's Captain America in some fashion, and then I assume that Bucky and Sam are probably gonna have to fight the Flag Smashers again after that.
And you have Sharon and the Power Broker. We're definitely gonna see the Power Broker this season, so we're gonna have to eventually see that reveal as well.
For sure. So I just wonder what's gonna come
Bucky
first.
Barnes' character.
You do or you don't?
I do. They set him up really well.
Which character?
Bucky.
Bucky Barnes.
Oh yeah, Bucky's the best.
He has a really. I think he's my favorite. Like.
I totally agree with that.
He's one of my favorite characters too in the entire MCU. He's always been great since the first Captain America. He's been his emotional tie-ins and his emotions are. He's such a good actor too. It's really it works.
Yeah. No, I just am really like connecting with his character. So no, I'm really enjoying Bucky.
You also are an amputee.
There's just like, I just don't feel like there's enough of an emotional plot line to make Sam, like Falcon, seem as interesting as Bucky. Like I don't think Sam is a bad character at all, but I think Bucky is so standout. Like I can totally understand his like, I mean, first off, then him not having an arm, and then his like being brainwashed, and that just keeps coming up in every it keeps coming up in every movie or every show he's in, which is a little bit annoying. Like, he's him being brainwashed. It's almost like a one-trick pony where that just keeps coming up again, and like everything he's in, it's like, oh, he's brainwashed. Besides the first Avenger, but
he's not in this though. What
do you mean?
He's not brainwashed in this show.
I know, but the plot of like him being brainwashed is still there,
yeah.
And it's just like, oh, the Wakandans, they were treating him when he was brainwashed, and then it's like, oh, Zemo's back. He's the guy who brainwashed him, or like who had a part in that, or no, not. I mean, he's the guy who like brainwashed him again in Civil War.
He killed T'Chaka. That's why they're after him.
Well, I know that.
Dad.
I know that. I just meant that like Zemo is back from Civil War, where he like re-brainwashed a Bucky, and it just seems like every time we see him, like the Winter Soldier, Civil War, now, just like he's always constantly struggling with it. So I get it.
He's good. He's so good in the show, and that first scene is so good, so fantastic, and really emotional. Without him talking at all, you really felt for his character of the pain of what he killed millions. I mean, who knows how many people he killed without him knowing, right? So it really hit him hard emotionally, and I like that scene a lot.
For sure. Yeah, me too. Me too.
It feels like they're rushing it though too. Don't you feel like it feels like the show should be 8 episodes minimum?
Yeah.
Like it feels like
Yeah.
they're trying to show a lot of stuff in there, and there's only 2 episodes to wrap everything up.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if the
Very-
Disney execs were just worried that a show, this show Falcon the Winter Soldier wouldn't be able to hold its own, in terms of like an audience or viewership, and that's why they cut it so short on episodes.
And I also want to bring up the point too where WandaVision felt right for week to week because there's theories and stuff every week. It felt like a show that you had to talk, like you were talking about every day. Like I was talking about seeing stuff about WandaVision every day. No one's really talking about this show as much, definitely not as much as WandaVision on a week to week basis. It feels like a long movie, which is what I'm cool with. But for me, week to week isn't really working for the show. It feels like I could binge this easily instead of week to week. There isn't a lot to talk about week to week.
Yeah, I
No,
totally
I
agree with you.
disagree.
This should definitely be a Netflix show where they just dropped all the episodes at one time, and you could just
Yeah.
like dive into this, and like for 1 week, people would be talking about it a lot, and then it would just die off after that. That definitely
Yeah.
seems like the style of show where WandaVision made such an emphasis episode to episode, like constantly
Yes.
teasing things, constantly setting up storylines. There was so much that you could break down that it provided
Yeah.
so much content for its viewership to discuss it, which just only made it a cycle of boosting its popularity. I totally understand that. Yeah, I think it's a little bit depressing you seeing this. Like it's very obvious to me that they don't trust the series as much. Part of that is the fact that Vision and Wanda are both like real Avengers, whereas like Falcon and Bucky are just Captain America's sidekicks. So, and they're really not they're not Avengers. Like they're just people that are also there. And also like
They said that like they're not like they're free, like they can break the rules, they don't have to obey
Yes.
the government. That kind of makes them better though than Avengers.
I agree.
In a
I like
sense,
that a
yeah.
lot because they feel untouchable too. Because you brought up that scene from last week where, or two, whatever it was, 2 episodes ago, where John was like, where they were like, you are working for the government. You have restrictions. You have to do this and this. We, whatever we want to do. That's why I'm enjoying the show because at least it's still a fun show. Like the action scenes are really fun. I'm enjoying the comedy. The actors are good. I just wish the story and the philosophical discussions are really good. I just wish the story was more there. I think that it'll hopefully satisfy the conclusion, but it feels very very predictable what's going on for me at least. I knew everything that was coming a mile away this episode, which I was very disappointed by.
Yeah, I think I got the same sense. And I think I definitely like we'll talk about it later on the episode, but I think it's definitely
Yes.
in comparison to Invincible, where like Invincible, that we've both seen is so ridiculous, and you can never
Unpredictable.
expect what's going to happen, and
Yeah.
there's no chance I would be able to accurately predict what's going to happen, and I'm 5 episodes into this show. There's no way there's no way I'm going to guess what happens because it's so all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think that in comparison to a show like this, it seems very like cut and dry. What the
Yeah.
story is going to be. Like I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of like a different style. And I think when you compare it to a show that is the opposite of it, I think it makes it look worse than it might actually be.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So do you think they should have released Falcon before WandaVision?
That was the plan for that to come out. This was supposed to be the first show that came out. I don't know.
I agree because I think it should just because I think it's nice to like ramp up into it, whereas it feels like with WandaVision we just skyrocketed it and now we're just declining. I kind
don't
of like
know.
the idea of just trending upwards.
I disagree because I think that when you do the Falcon Winter Soldier show, which is very MCU, it feels like a superhero MCU show, where WandaVision doesn't really feel like an MCU anything until maybe the last 2 episodes of the show. So I would actually feel like people would tune off of WandaVision if they just saw an MCU show, felt like they're in the MCU, and then you're cutting from Falcon and Winter Soldier to the 30s episode of WandaVision, which is the first episode. I think that would be a lot of turn off for a lot of people who are addicted to the MCU. So I'm actually happy that WandaVision went first because it gave people the belief that it could be good because it was the first MCU show out of the gate. If they saw a full MCU show and then got to basically a non-MCU show, in my opinion, until the last 2 episodes, I don't know. I'd actually disagree with that opinion.
Do you
I get
think
that.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier would have done better as a movie?
Yes.
I was
100%.
thinking, I think
Yes.
that all the time.
It feels like a movie for sure, which is not a bad thing about the
You
show.
think
It
it's
just feels like
not
a movie.
because of COVID? Like, if it wasn't for COVID, would it have been a movie instead?
No, this was going to be a show from the beginning, I think.
Yeah, I think honestly, the more I think about it as a movie, the more I think it makes sense. Just because John
Yeah.
Walker's character feels like a movie villain. He doesn't feel like someone who's fleshed out enough for a TV show. Like typically, TV shows have villains that are built throughout like a period of time, and that's why they're a TV show because they need more effort into like expanding upon them. And he doesn't see. He seems like a very one-dimensional villain, which just puts a very weird like
And
aura around the
something
show.
as little as like the Zemo escape scene could have been done better in a movie form because they felt like they just had to get Zemo out of prison in the show. It just had to happen. It felt very rushed. So I think even though it seems weird to say like the show would be rushed and the movie wouldn't be is weird to say, but I don't know. It feels like a movie, which I like about it. It doesn't need to feel like a TV show, but it should be a movie in my opinion.
Wait,
That's
so how
what I
many
think.
hours is it? So it's what, an hour, an episode, and there's 8 or 6?
6. So it's 6 hours, basically a 6-hour show. Yeah, 6-hour movie, basically.
I
yeah.
would watch that movie. Part 1, part 2.
Yo, someone hit up the Snyder Cut, dude. Where's the Snyder Cut at?
It's 2 hours longer than the Snyder.
Yeah, and I barely got through that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, and that was actually good.
I think it
Parts
could be
of it.
2:15. You could have done a 2-hour, 15-minute movie, and I don't think this show would have needed a show. I mean, like Loki and WandaVision feel like non-MCU mainstream stuff that feels right to be in a show. This feels so mainstream. This show, which is not a bad thing. I'm just stating the facts, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Right. Well, also outside of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I wanted to quickly touch on. We got some news that just came out, I believe today, where we got a little bit of information regarding the character Daredevil. So the news we got, this is unconfirmed. Disney or the MCU, Marvel, no one released this information. This is just kind of leaks that have come out, and some this news is being reported a little bit. But I just wanted to stress it's outside of Disney or Marvel's platforms. So what we're hearing is Daredevil, the character, is coming. The superhero is coming back into I don't want to say the MCU because he wasn't in it before, but he's coming into the MCU now, and reportedly it's going to be Charlie Cox. So Charlie Cox, if you guys don't know, he is the original actor who played Daredevil in the Netflix TV series. That Netflix TV series was canceled, not because of poor reviews or ratings or anything, because they're actually very high ratings. But it was canceled because Netflix had a deal with Disney where Disney had to continuously renew their contract, and Netflix would then use these characters, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage, and team them up all to be in the Defenders, and they would that kind of chain of TV shows and that universe, that Netflix superhero universe, was contingent upon Disney renewing their contract for them to be able to
So there's
use
no more
the
Jessica
characters.
Jones?
Yeah, all those shows, all those 5 shows I listed: Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and the Defenders, which is the team up of
And you're
all
not even
4 of them.
counting Agents of
All
Shield, too.
and yeah, and that too. But the main ones are those characters.
Sure.
And out of all of those characters, Daredevil is the most important because he has the highest ratings. He was the first show as well. So the first character to get a show. So basically, Disney canceled their deal with Netflix. And people are speculating that Disney did this because they wanted to use the characters for themselves, and in their movies or in their own TV shows, Disney Plus shows, whatever it might be. So they wanted the characters back in their control and away from Netflix. So that has gotten us into the situation where Daredevil is canceled, but there's a very strong fan base that wants him back at Netflix because of how popular the show was. So Charlie Cox has now been reported, as I said, to be back as Daredevil and in the MCU. And apparently his first role is gonna be a cameo appearance in Spider-Man 3, No Way Home. And after that, he's reportedly going to be in a Disney Plus TV series with another deaf superhero. So we know that well with a deaf superhero, and the deaf superhero is Echo. So obviously this kind of works really well with Daredevil because Daredevil is blind, and this other superhero is deaf. So it kind of just like a very interesting pairing combination to have on screen. So as I said, the superhero, her name is Echo, and her character's name is Maya Lopez. So apparently we're gonna get introduced to her in the Hawkeye TV series, but we're gonna have to wait and see for that. So a lot of characters being introduced and a lot of different things, but the most important news here is Charlie Cox's Daredevil. He could be back. So Lauren, I know you said that you watched a bit of Daredevil. So what do you think about this news and this this character potentially coming back?
Daredevil was good. I thought it was like kind of dark, more mysterious. I liked like the lawyer law component. Like it's so funny that they were like attorneys or whatever. Or I don't know the law terms,
Right.
but like, and then him and his best friend, like that was a cute. And they had the girl join them, and they were like a cute little partnership.
Yep. Froggy
So it's like
Karen.
weird to see that go from like their little world to like them just appearing on other shows or other movies. Because I'm like, oh, like I want them to just do whatever they want, you know?
Yeah, I totally get that. They felt like they were isolated in their little bubble that was kind of
And I
protected
like them
from
in their
mainstream.
bubble,
Yeah.
little Hell's Kitchen bubble.
Yes, the Hell's Kitchen bubble that they're in. It is gonna feel a little weird if we see Charlie Cox's Daredevil fighting an Avengers level threat, like a Thanos style threat. It's gonna be
That would
very
be
out of
crazy.
place.
I never think of him as that level of hero. Not that he's not like good or cool, but like I kind of liked him because he was like off the beaten path hero, you know?
Yeah, I picture him fighting, actual like criminals or like drug dealers or thugs,
Yeah.
whatever.
And Kingpin.
Yeah,
Right?
like exactly like Kingpin, and picturing him blind using his
Like an alien.
batons against Thanos, which just actually makes me laugh.
Imagine
Like
Loki and Daredevil hanging out.
a match made in heaven.
That would be kind of cute. I think like because like Loki's all like little, and then Daredevil's just like dry. So the two of them would be really cute together.
And actually a perfect combination.
So where's the writers' room? I have work to do.
Honestly,
Lauren's on it.
honestly, I know there's Disney Plus execs watching this show out here, so you
Yeah.
guys gotta hire Lauren ASAP.
I'm actually a
My
graphic designer,
recommendation.
so I'm so much more useful than a writer. But I could do both.
Honestly, tell them.
My website is live. It's laurenfrankdesign.com if you want to check out my portfolio work. And then I'm having an exhibition in August if you want to learn about that. That's also on my site. Self promo.
I was gonna say, look at her self
Well
promo.
done.
What a queen.
Wow. Well, you know what, Lauren? When you get rich and famous, don't forget about the Movie Mafia podcast,
I'll
okay?
never forget.
Where you got your start, man.
In the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. But yeah, so I think this Daredevil news is crazy. I'm a huge Daredevil fan. I've watched all these shows. I watched all 3 seasons of Daredevil. I watched Iron Fist, as painful as it was. I watched Luke Cage, that was meh, and Jessica Jones started good and then just really fell off. And Defenders, it was okay. So I watched all this stuff,
Oh
and
yeah.
I couldn't be
What
more
was the
excited for him
one?
to be back.
What was the show where like the guy gets a magic tattoo and he has like dragon powers?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're talking about Iron Fist.
Okay, that's like what I thought it was because I did watch like the crossover things when they would all kind of team up, and I
Yeah.
was so confused what his deal was. I was like, does he get power from tattoos? I don't know.
Dude, nobody knows. That's like it was one of the worst reviewed TV series of all time. It's
Yeah, he
very
didn't.
bad.
And then like I'm not even gonna go into it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's Iron Fist. Welcome to Iron Fist. But
The Iron Fist podcast.
yeah, literally makes no sense. Um, But yeah, Max, what about you? I don't know how much of the Netflix universe the Netflix superhero universe you've watched, but what do you think about this news?
I'm getting disappointed with a lot of this stuff because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, and that's the movie I'm most pumped for next for the MCU. I'm kind of getting. I know we're in the social media era where everyone wants stuff leaked, and I'm kind of getting old of knowing all these cameos are happening before the movie happens, because I think it takes away a lot of the surprises and the reveals of stuff. And I know we're probably going to get some ones that we're not talking about right now, but the fact that we already know Garfield, Maguire are coming back, and Doc Ock and Electro are back, and it's a lot of stuff that is already being leaked. It's a little bit too much, and I'm just hoping that it still delivers, because it's leaked a lot of stuff already, and it's kind of disappointing that I already know a lot of the characters that are going to be in it as surprises.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the best parts about some of these superhero movies when they really do some stuff right is that you don't know exactly what's going to happen before going into it. And I think you can look at some of the worst superhero movies and TV shows and stuff and be able to easily, some of the things that make them bad is how predictable and transparent they are. So I think definitely, go ahead.
Even like J.K. Simmons coming back in Spider-Man Far From Home, me and my entire theater, we lost our minds.
Me
we
too.
Couldn't believe that. It was a big deal. No one was talking about it. It was not leaked. No one had any clue. And then when it happened, my whole theater, that was the most loud they ever been the entire movie. So I'm wondering if this is too many. I just want to bring up an example of someone who's not even a big superhero who got that big of a reaction from the crowd of not knowing that he was in the movie.
Exactly. And it feels like a lose-lose situation. Like everybody's now expecting all these characters to be in it. So if they are in it, great. It's not going to be some insanely amazing moment. It's just going to be like what you expected. And if they're not in it, the movie is never going to be able to get to where these lofty expectations that people are having in its head, in their head about it. So it just seems like a lose-lose situation for these leaks to come out. I'm not sure if they were intentional leaks or, if they're just a byproduct of having a movie with such high-profile actors in it. But regardless, it seems to be for the worst for Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. I'm still pumped for it. It's my favorite superhero. I love Tom Holland. I love Spider-Man. I'm just so pumped for this movie to come out already. Zendaya, it's like all stuff I'm enjoying, so it's great.
For sure. And to keep on this kind of Netflix, a little bit Netflix news and stuff, we did get a little news this past week that Sony just inked a new deal with Netflix on any of the future Sony movies, and mostly this really only concerns the Spider-Man movies because that's like the big focus I think for Sony. There's going to be other movies in it, but I think for me and I think most people, the Spider-Man movies are what everyone's going to be looking at. Like the Venom and the Morbius movies and that kind of and any other future Spider-Man movies that might entail. So what's happening with this deal is Sony's deal with Netflix is going to be any Spider-Man universe movies that Sony creates starting from 2022 and onward are going to go right to Netflix after they're done in theaters. So any of these Spider-Man movies are going to be releasing starting in 2022. So this is not going to include Spider-Man No Way Home, and it's not going to include Venom 2.
Yeah, I do have the movies listed. If there's other movies, like Bad Boys 4 will be on there, Jumanji 4 will be on there, Venom 3 will be there as well, as you said. Spider-Man Masters of the Universe movie will be on there. This is all, and Spider-Verse 2, which is a big one as well. So those are the list of movies as well added to that.
Yeah, and all those movies are going to go to Netflix once they're done running through theaters.
And PVOD online. So you'll still have to buy it for $20 for a couple months, and then it'll come on Netflix for free. So it's going to be a long time before it's on Netflix. It's a lot longer than what people are making it out to be.
For sure, I do think it's impactful, and it's definitely important that Sony is going to be doing this deal with Netflix, as opposed to you'd think it'd be with Disney Plus with their partnership that they have, with Spider-Man being in the MCU. You'd think that would kind of carry over, but it doesn't seem like it's going to work out for this with Disney Plus.
Contract-wise, why should they? Because he's only in 2 more movies, technically.
That's true. It does seem to be. I wonder if it is. It could be completely unrelated, but a part of me feels like I wonder if Sony making this deal with Netflix means that they're not interested in making too many deals with Disney Plus. Now,
Disney.
or with Disney, I should say. So I wonder if that's going to impact whether or not Spider-Man is going to have too many more MCU appearances.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Especially Morbius too, where Vulture's coming back, who's a character from an MCU movie as well. It doesn't. I want him in the MCU personally, but I see why people don't. So I think this does confirm though that I don't think he's going to be in it that much longer. Because even Netflix, they could even do a deal where he could have his own show or something, and that wouldn't be anything to do with Disney. So there's a lot of options here for sure.
Speaking of Netflix, because we're still talking about it, I know that Lucifer next season is coming out, and I'm so excited. It's coming out on May 28th.
Absolutely.
That's soon.
That's so soon. I know. I'm so
Lucifer podcast.
A little more than a month. A little more than a month. We're almost there.
Let's just
so excited. It's gonna be so good.
Do you know how many episodes they're going to be in their season 5B? I'm going to try to look it up here. I'm not sure how many episodes.
I hope more than Falcon Winter Soldier.
Mood.
Shut up.
Honestly. Let me see. Yeah, I know, I know that, Lucifer is such a good show. It's so disappointing that it's going to be ending after 5 seasons. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be 8. It's a 16 episode series, so we got the first 8. Now we're gonna get the last 8.
But like, why end it? I feel like it's a show that could go on forever.
True. It's a really, really good show. And also, Madagascar 3, one of my favorite movies, is coming. It's coming on Netflix May 1st, and yeah, because like it's one of my favorite movies. Because if you know me, one of the first things I tell everyone when you get to know me, the da 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 the circus, da 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 the circus, that's playing in a constant loop in my head 24/7. Like, you don't understand. Somebody's like, "What are you thinking about?" And I'm just like, da 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 the circus. Like, it's always playing rent free in my head, literally 24/7, which says a lot about me. So the fact that it's coming on Netflix and I get to just see that scene, it's exciting for me. I'm gonna be watching that a lot.
You should get a unicycle.
No, I'm very, very
No, it's not that hard. It's like muscle memory. And you can text the unicycle. It's really easy.
I'm gonna pass just because I'm really clumsy. I'm shocked I didn't fall off my longboard yet.
And well, you know how when you're on a bike, you like fall, like you actually fall. On the unicycle, there's nothing in front of you, so you just kind of land on your feet. It's kind of like you hit the ground running.
You have fun. I'm gonna pass.
Where is this unicycle business coming from?
I don't know. I just
Do you have a unicycle?
I have multiple unicycles.
How are you proficient in riding it?
I like, my parents would send me away to Jew camp as a child, because like it's where you send all your Jewish children. And then I had nothing better to do, so I took up unicycling. And then after my bat mitzvah, that's what I used my bat mitzvah money for, my first unicycle.
How long did it take you to become a proficient unicycler?
I would say just like an hour or two every day for a week, and you just put in the time, and then it's like riding a bike. It's like muscle memory, and then you're like da 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 the circus, and then you keep going.
This is gonna be stuck in Gabby's head all day.
No, it's already stuck in my head. That's what I was like telling you. Like, you don't understand. That
it's
is
a personality
in
trait
my
at this point.
Exactly. Somebody's like, "All right, what are you thinking about right now?" And my brain doesn't know what to say. It just goes da 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 to circus, and it's just playing on a constant loop, and that says a lot about me. So that you're welcome.
So like, yeah, it's like your jingle. It's your movie intro audio.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you need a trailer like into my life, that would be like the opening clip.
Oh,
Well, I can't
my
wait to watch it. We'll
gosh.
have to review that one next on the show.
You know what? Absolutely. I know you've probably seen this movie. I know you've probably seen Madagascar 3 too many times, but we need your updated review
Oh.
once it comes back on the Netflix.
I can do that. I can absolutely do that.
Okay.
I will give you a play-by-play plot points. You want it? You got it.
I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, we're also going to talk about Lucifer Season 5B. I cannot wait for that. And what I might be most excited to talk about on this podcast with you, Gabby, I cannot wait until they release a new
Gossip
season of
Girl.
Gossip Girl. When the reboot comes back,
Oh boy.
we will be the Gossip Girl podcast.
Absolutely. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Might have to divert
Max and Lauren are shifting out of the frame.
Max and Lauren are going to be like, sorry, what's the movie Mafia? I've never heard of her.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They're just never gonna ever exist on the show.
We'll create the Godzilla podcast.
Gabby, I've been watching episodes in quarantine. I'm on halfway through season 5.
Jacob, I want you to know, I think you're a bigger Gossip Girl fan than I am, and that says a lot because I have a very fangirl mentality, and the fact that you knew when you were drunk which exact episode I was watching of Gossip Girl says a lot because I don't even know if I would have been able to do that. So I just want everyone to know, Jacob makes it seem like I am the biggest Gossip Girl fan, but in reality, I think it's Jacob. I think Jacob is a bigger fan than I am, and I am like obsessed with it. It's my favorite show.
Well, shit, I'm getting exposed.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's not new information.
No, Jacob, we all know that you have an obsession with Gossip Girl. It's nothing new. But I was just saying
not new information yet. I continuously get criticized for it on this podcast.
You are the one who brings it up, Jacob.
You know what? You might be right. You might be right. On second thought, you might be right.
You're planting the seeds and I'm just watering them.
Watering them?
Watering.
Water.
To water.
That.
Watering.
Watering them?
Water?
I say watering.
Watering?
Like I water plants. I've never heard of water.
My grandparents who live in Maryland say water. I've never heard anyone besides them say water.
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 Water. Water. No, that doesn't sound right to me.
Water.
No, it's water. I grew up in South Jersey, 20 minutes from Philadelphia. I say water. Oh, is it Jimmy's or Sprinkles?
Sprinkles.
Jimmy's.
Jimmy's.
I say Jimmy's.
I say Jimmy's.
No.
Really, Jacob? Come on.
Nah, bro.
Jimmy's. People think I'm a lunatic when I sometimes talk about that when I'm even out here. They're like, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, Sprinkles. Sorry. Jesus.
Everyone here, I'll be saying something like, oh my god, I'm so thirsty, I need a water. Then they just look at me, they're just like, water? And I'm like, water?
Make your own beverage that's like different than water and call it water and like brand it.
Uh-oh.
It's kind of like selling the pet rock. Like you kind of just make it cool.
Would the water be made out of wood?
You could do wood infused water.
Wow.
Lauren came up with all the ideas today.
Wait, so I thought water would be WUTER. But are you saying it's going to be WOODER?
We're gonna have to do a survey.
It's water. The way
We're gonna have to collect some data on this subject.
Okay, see, like I mean, now like when I write the word water, it's WATER. But like when you actually say like water, it's WOODER. Like that's how you would like spell it out.
Like, what are you glad? Or like, what do you live for?
No.
What is that?
I need a glass. I need a glass of water.
Would you or would her? Would her? I hardly know her.
Stop.
Would
Stop.
hurt.
Stop.
I invented grammar.
Oh my god.
Sounds like
English is hard.
Oh my god. Well, before we got derailed on this whole point, I know there was a movie podcast in here somewhere.
yeah. Stop off. Started there.
Well, I know we got a little bit of a late start to our episode, so I do want to do one last topic before we cut it off. I know me and Max have been fully invested into this new show, Invincible, and we've been kind of going crazy about it. I know Max has been getting stir crazy because he hasn't had anyone to kind of just unload all this episode onto, the series onto. So now that I've seen it, you can go give your spoilery review of episodes 1 through 5 of Invincible. And if you guys like it, you guys should totally watch it. Gabby, Lauren, it's another superhero show, so you might be overloaded on superhero stuff. But I promise you. Go ahead.
You said Disney Plus?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon.
Prime?
There's only so much.
Wait, what's on Amazon? There's so many things happening.
Invincible.
It's called
And
Invincible.
there's superheroes. Do I know these superheroes?
No. It's all brand new
It's
story.
animated. It's animated.
It's like animated, but it's raunchy and it's violent. So
like what kind? Like animated, like 2D, 3D, 4D, 6-dimensional anime. Like, what do you?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you're
What's
gonna
the
have to
style?
see it to figure it out.
It's not
just
anime.
No, it's just like animated, like cartoony, I guess. Like
It's like DC animated shit. It looks like DC animated movies. That's what it looks like the most.
yeah, I guess like standard animation, and it's kind of just like it's no superheroes anyone's ever heard of before. Like they're all original, unique superheroes.
From a comic though.
Yeah, but
From
not
the guy who
not
created
like
The
a
Walking
traditional DC or Marvel characters.
Yeah, so the guy who created The Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, he created the comic 20 years ago. And Seth Rogen, actually, him and his business partner, Evan Goldberg, have been trying to make a live-action movie of this for like 10 years. And I feel like
If
Seth
Rogen's involved, then like you should have led with that. Why would
he voices a character who's in one scene so far.
That's fine. You still can lead with him. You can name drop. It's okay.
Oh, this voice cast is insane for the show. It's
Okay.
insane.
Let me hear
Stevie
it.
Young, J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh, Mahershala Ali was just in this episode as Titan. I'm trying to think of Zachary Quinto. Zazie Beetz plays Amber. There's a lot of other people. Jillian Jacobs. Jason Mantzoukas is in it. Walton Goggins, Clancy Brown, Mark Hamill. There's a lot of people in the show.
Okay, I wrote it down, so I will watch it for next week. How many episodes are there already?
So right now there's
5.
5 and they're each 45 minutes.
And they come out every Friday.
Okay. And they're every Friday.
But we have to talk about this in spoiler, right? Right now?
Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Okay, so I think we should both have a discussion about this because I really adore this show. And I think it's a lot better than Falcon and Winter Soldier, even though obviously that show is obviously being talked about more because they both come out the same day. It's unfortunate that this show isn't getting talked about as much because it's so good. And I told everyone that there's a twist in the first episode in last week's podcast. We should talk about it. Jacob, did you see it coming at all?
No, not at all. The whole episode builds up as you have this young kid and his superpowers have not come out yet, and his father is what's his forgive me, Omni-Man. Omni-Man is his father, and he is kind of
What's
this
it, an
world's.
omnivore?
No, he's just a guy, but his superhero name is Omni-Man.
He's kind of like Superman.
He's this world's Superman. He is the strongest hero of all the other superheroes. He's Omni-Man, and his son his superpowers have not manifested yet, and he's in like high school.
You have to manifest them because of the law of attraction. Keep going.
Yep. So eventually his superpowers finally manifest, and he's trying to figure out what his outfit's gonna look like, what his name's gonna be, and he finally decides his name's gonna be Invincible. And then while simultaneously they're also developing the Justice League of this kind of
Guardians of the
universe.
Globe.
They're called the Guardians of the Globe. They're basically basically the Justice League ripoff, and
They're
they're
close.
It's funny though.
yeah, it is funny. They're the strongest superheroes outside of Omni-Man. Like Omni-Man kind of is works on his own. He does his own thing, and he helps and he saves the world, but he kind of does his own separate thing. And the Guardians of the Globe are kind of a little bit. They seem to kind of work for the government in a sense. Like they're kind of just like the government kind of license, but they're heroes and they help. So all of a sudden, towards the very end of the episode. Yeah, in the post-credit scene, they're all getting called in, and it's like, oh my God, what's happening? All these, the Guardians of the Globe are all getting called in, you know, to like, you know, meet at their like their base. So they all get to their base, and they're like, okay, who called the meeting? And all of them are like, it wasn't me. So like, who the hell called it? And then someone comes in from the background, and it's Omni-Man. And Omni-Man bursts out of the darkness and murders every single one of the Guardians of the Globe.
Really
Just rips them apart. I mean, ripping heads off, just punching through them, blowing them up. It is incredible. He just destroys and absolutely kills every single one of the Guardians of the Globe. And then no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And then in the aftermath, he is so beaten up and bloodied by fighting all these strong superheroes that he passes out. And then the next episode, the government comes into the facility to see all these dead superheroes and Omni-Man on life support. And they don't put together that Omni-Man killed these people. They just think someone else came in and killed these guys, and he was just a survivor. And there's all this subplot of like, did Omni-Man, like, you know, for a couple episodes, you're not sure, like, did he consciously do this? Was he manipulated to doing it? You know, you're not
controlled. Is it a clone?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's very not explained.
And where's the son doing? Is he playing video games? He's got his Xbox.
He's the main character. He's very similar to Peter Parker, which may be why I love the show. He goes to high school. He has his mom is not a superhero at all. She's a normal person, which I thought is brilliant. Yeah, he's half. I think it's like Viltrumite or something. I think that's what it's called, where Omni-Man's from. So he's half, and I think that's why the show is awesome, because the mom is so good in the show, because she is very real. The idea of him choosing, should I be a superhero, or actually is it cooler to actually be a normal person? And I thought what was great about the first 3 episodes, and Jacob, I don't know if you agree, but I thought they were going to do a love triangle at first with Amber and Adam Eve. And I felt like, as a superhero, he was cool being in a relationship with Adam Eve, but when he was actually like Mark Grayson himself, he wanted to be with Amber. That romance is awesome, by the way. The Amber and Mark stuff is really well done. And the fact of this last episode, right? This is where Eve goes to Amber's homeless shelter place, and the fact of Mark just never shows up to stuff. He's late all the time to Amber's dates and all this stuff. And he just can't tell her that he's a superhero. But she told him last episode, like Eve told Amber, like, he loves you. Don't worry about it. You know, it was a really emotional, dude. The idea of this romance, what I thought was a triangle, actually is just Amber and Mark, which I think is cool.
Does he know that the main character, does he know that his dad killed everyone, or does he not?
Nobody besides his dad. Well, the only person that knows besides the guy, besides Omni-Man is do you remember what was the name of the guy that looks like?
Is it like Damien Darkblood or something?
Yeah,
it's like a demon.
Yeah, it's like there's a demon, and he's like a demon detective, and he kind of put the pieces together, but before he could kind of expose everything, he was like they sent him back to hell. So he kind of knows, but the only person that can do anything that really knows is Omni.
I never really thought superheroes and like hell would be in the same kind of spiel.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
But I do want to talk about the mom too, because in that first episode, he flies for the first time, and then he comes down. He's like, I don't really need to talk to my mom anymore. And then they have a real conversation. He's like, you know what? Like, both of them are very important. And even his mom called out Omni-Man, was like, I'm the one who taught you about humanity here on Earth. Like, you came here, knew nothing about Earth.
He's an alien.
Yeah, he looks like a person, but he's not from Earth. But the fact that she was like, I'm the one who taught you all this stuff, and I get no, I
would be pissed.
It's a good balance of a human life and I guess alien life or superhero life, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a great balance on the show.
For sure. And
So he really is Superman then, because he's an alien.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And he looks like J.K. He looks like J. Jonah Jameson, which I think is why they got J.K. Simmons to voice the character. But I do love the show a lot. It's really, this last episode was crazy, where a cool storyline where Mark has to help out a mini. His job is to protect the Earth. His dad. His job is to be the protector of Earth, if I'm not mistaken. That's the point of him coming to Earth. So then this guy voiced by Mahershala Ali, who turns into a rock. He's like a mixture of a person and he's like the guy from Fantastic Four.
Oh, I love the Rock dude. He's cool.
Yeah,
So he has a very mini storyline where he's very poor. I guess his daughter goes to this very poor school, and he's become a criminal to make money for his family. So they have this mini storyline, and his dad's like, "Why are you helping him out? This is beneath you," which I thought was really good. And his mom's like, "No, being a hero or saving people isn't beneath him." And then it looks like he's gonna get killed, and Omni-Man's watching him get his ass kicked this whole episode.
Yeah,
which
so
I thought was really powerful.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so just as Max said, this last episode ended on such a cliffhanger where our main character, Invincible, just is on his deathbed, basically on life support, as he just got completely pummeled in this fight and is basically about to die. All the meanwhile, his dad, Omni-Man, who's the strongest being in the universe, pretty much, so it seems thus far, is just watching him get his ass kicked because he didn't believe his son should have got himself involved, because he doesn't think this squabble is important enough for a hero of his caliber. So since he disagreed with his son, he let his son get almost basic. He might, he could die.
He's not dead.
He's not dead, but he's on life support. He let his son get near death, just to kind of prove his point, which just goes to show the type of person that Omni-Man is. And it makes me it's giving me Homelander vibes from The Boys, if you guys ever watched The Boys.
What's Homelander?
But Homelander is a superhero who's also an asshole, but in this show called The Boys. But it's a great show. The show, again, it's called Invincible on Amazon Prime. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say one last thing too. I think that they absolutely nailed. Now, it's not all pretty up to being a superhero. It's not all good. Like you don't get to save everyone. Like Mark saves an old woman. Well, at least he thought he did in the second episode. And they go to the high facility hospital, and she ends up dying, which he is like a 17-year-old kid can't save everyone. And the realization of you just can't save everyone, which I think the MCU is starting to realize on what to do about that. But this is a very authentic way of showing how, like, 330 people die, right? Is what they said when the aliens came over for the first time. Like, people are getting killed all over the place. Yeah. And superheroes isn't all just about, you don't get to save everyone. It's not all cheesied up. It's very authentically done in the show.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. And I think that's one of the strengths of the show, and how like real, and how authentic, and how they don't censor anything. They just give you everything straight out. They don't, nothing cookie cutter. Like I sometimes I feel like the MCU does. But regardless, on that point, I do want to say, I want to conclude with Invincible is like I just said, it's a show on Amazon Prime. Again, it's called Invincible. There's only 5 episodes out right now. 8 episodes total, so we got 3 more to go, 6, 7, 8. So I know only 3 more, but if you haven't watched the show now, I definitely recommend starting to watch it. It's a great show, and with
people
that,
need to be talking about it.
For sure. For sure.
Everyone watch the show. Everyone's talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I get it. We talk about it too, but Invincible for me is clearly the better show, and I think it's such a original superhero show that feels like a comic coming to life. So even if you're not a superhero fan, please go check it out. It's very raunchy, it's very violent, but also very emotional and authentic. So definitely check it out on Prime.
100%. And with that being said, I'm going to wrap up the episode there. So, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. Everyone here at the Movie Mafia, we love all our fans out there, all right? We cannot wait for another episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, more Invincible, and we're going to keep talking about it on this podcast. So stay tuned, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace!